Welcome back, guys. This is Tough Choice. I am your host, Kazeem Rahman, on the hot seat today. You saw the title. It's me. It's me. It's another deep dive episode. We're going to go deep into some would you rather questions. We're going to do some Black excellence, and we will do some what would you do. So, you know how we do it here, guys. We don't really waste any time. The game is Tough Choice. You must pick between the two choices. You must explain yourself. You get one pass. You get one pause. Let's go.
Let it begin! Let it begin!
Would you rather have everyone you make plans with show up 45 minutes late or ride in the lower baggage compartment every time you fly? How much space is in the lower baggage compartment? And I'm asking that because everyone I make plans with 45 minutes late, it's not just, you're thinking your friends. I'm thinking business meetings. I'm thinking important calls. I'm thinking like a host of things, and everyone is 45 minutes late. I know you're thinking, oh, well, I can manage that, but 45 minutes is a long time. 45 minutes is okay for social situations. 45 minutes is not okay for like business. If we're talking business and you're 45 minutes late, I have a problem. Personally, I have a problem. But now that I'm thinking about it, the lower baggage compartment, I've seen people load the lower baggage compartment on a plane. Man, they just throw the things in there, dog. That's all they do. They just throw the things in there. And I don't particularly enjoy that. I'm pretty sure I said that word wrong. I'm gonna have to do the 45 minutes late and then just hate my life, honestly. Because I know I'm gonna hate my life. 45 minutes is a long time, man. To be late to something constantly. Again, socially, it's fine. But if we're talking business, then no, 45 minutes is not good for everyone else. But in this situation, they show up 45 minutes late, so you're always the victim. As long as you're not showing up 45 minutes late, then that's fine. But at the same time, now I know to an extent, if I know everyone's just going to be 45 minutes late, exactly on the dot, I can take my time for everything, right? I can take a little more extra time. I'm still going to try to show up at least 15 minutes late so I can, guilt trip them and I can get what I want. But if I know 45 minutes is the thing that's going to happen, then I feel a little better and I can plan around it. Would you rather have undeniably ugly offspring or cut off your own arm with a pocket knife? This is, you either are going to be extremely vain or you can self-harm. Okay. Undeniably ugly offspring. Listen, I don't think I'm going to be thinking about that, whether or not my kids are cute or not, right? If we're talking from a comedic aspect, yes, I will know whether or not my kids are ugly. But if they're my kids, I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. Maybe I won't be. Maybe I won't be fine. But I don't think it's going to be that bad. And I'm trying to think, man. Because if we think about the 4 rules of tough choice, number 1 is always think long-term and short-term before answering any question. All right. Number 2 is no self-harm unless absolutely necessary. And self-harm is in this question. Okay. You can either be materialistic or you can be shallow. You may not be both. And you can be self-centered sometimes. Keyword, sometimes. Right? Now, if I have undeniably ugly offspring, it's not about me thinking my children are ugly or me thinking that everyone else is calling my children ugly. It's gonna be a hindrance on their lives, and it's gonna add more stress to me because they're gonna come home and be like, Daddy, someone called me ugly, and I'm gonna have to console them day after day after day after day after day. Every single day I'm going to have to console them because people, especially when we're talking about these cyberbullying, let's be real, cyberbullying is a thing, right? Kids don't know how to turn off the computer. Kids don't know how to turn off their phone. Cyberbullying is a thing. Sucks. It sucks. It shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing. So undeniably ugly offspring, it's gonna be stressful on your whole family. It's gonna be stressful on your whole family, whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not. Yes, you can always sit your children down and be like, listen, all you have to do is be a good person and people will like you. That's cool. That's nice. People are gonna still call them ugly every now and again, and you're gonna have to sit down and console them. That's if we're being honest, if we're just being honest, that's what's gonna happen. Now, cut off your own arm with a pocket knife. Self-harm is not needed. And we're not talking about a saw. We're not talking about a knife. We're talking about one of those, a pocket knife, something that folds and fits in your pocket. I can't do that. I genuinely can't do that because you're going to bleed out. I'm thinking right now I'm going to bleed out. If it's a pocket knife, that's too much blood. If it was a regular knife, I could, well, I'm trying to think. If it was a regular knife, I would still probably would bleed out. Cut off my arm, cut off my own arm. That's a lot, man. That's a lot, man. The first stick would hurt. The first couple slices would hurt. And then I have to cut off my own arm with a pocket knife. That means I have to get to the bone and cut it off. I'm going to have these ugly offspring because I would rather have ugly offspring than most likely end up dying trying to cut off my own arm. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to do the ugly offspring. Sucks. But hey, I'm going to learn how to console my children. Would you rather have your armpits coated in double-sided duct tape or have to be moving at all times? Now, what do I mean by moving? I haven't decided how hard I want this question to be. Now, moving won't necessarily mean running around or you have to be walking or anything like that. You have to do a fidget, like you have to bounce your leg on the floor. Now, it cannot be a light bounce. You have to be noticeably moving. You can't just bounce it a little bit, tiny bit, like it's going up 2 centimeters and then maybe down 2 centimeters or whatever. No. Your leg is fidgeting and people can see it and you have to be moving at all time. When you're walking, you don't have to be fidgeting. But when you're not walking, you have to be moving. Has to be moving. Maybe you can be dancing or, I'm going to be dancing. Here's why I want to figure out the moving thing, because I put my hands next to my sides all the time. That's the resting phase of everyone that has arms. So if you're telling me my arms are going to be covered in double-sided duct tape, I have a slight problem with that. Just a slight problem, But if I'm moving all the time, I could figure that out. I can be dancing Kazeem. I can be the guy that's just dancing. I can dance to an extent. I don't like to dance, but I can dance. And when I'm sitting down, I can always just be moving my hand, always be dancing. It's going to be annoying to everyone that meets me, but my friends that are my friends before I started dancing all the time will still be my friends. I don't think I'm making new friends with this dancing, right? At least friends that I would want as friends. But I would rather do that than have double-sided duct tape. If it was regular tape, I'd say okay. But duct tape is pretty strong. Duct tape is pretty strong, especially when you put it on other duct tape. Yeah, that's hard to get out and get off. So I guess I'm gonna be moving all the time. Would you rather go on a family vacation to a nudist resort or walk half a mile barefoot through 2 feet of maggots? That's interesting. What would both of these are one time. Now, if I go on a family vacation to a nudist resort, I'm assuming I'm nude also. Another question I have. When you say go on a family vacation, do we mean wife and kids, or do we mean parents and siblings? I'm not married just yet. So I probably can't bring my wife and kids. I'm not married. I have no kids. So we're talking about parents and siblings to a nudist resort. I don't think, and no offense to any nudists that are probably going to listen to this, come on my podcast. Don't be nude, but come on my podcast. I've never seen pictures from a nudist resort where anybody is there that I personally would find attractive. Does that make sense to you guys? All the nudist resort people are like older, white, in their 40s, like a lot of people from like Arizona, no offense, right? Middle of Texas, no offense. New Mexico, no offense. I'm just saying, I don't see a benefit of going to a nudist resort. The only benefit of going to a nudist resort is that I don't have to walk half a mile barefoot in 2 feet of maggots. 2 feet is to my knees. 2 feet is to a lot of people's knees. So let's think. Do maggots bite? I don't know. I don't know if maggots bite. I'm gonna assume they might give you a small bite. I'm gonna also assume it's not like a stinging thing. I don't want to walk 2 miles, half a mile through 2 feet of maggots. I'm gonna do the maggots only because I don't know if maggots bite. Because here's the thing. Let's say maggots bite. That's a better story than saying, well, no, it's not. No, it's not. The nudist resort will be a better story. The nudist resort will hands down be a better story. But it's I don't know. Okay, I just looked up if maggots bites you. Okay, what happens if a maggot bites you? Accidental myiasis results from ingestion of eggs or existing maggots into the gastrointestinal tract, local irritation, vomiting, diarrhea. The low oxygen levels in the gut usually will kill the maggots. Well, no, that's just your skin. What about skins? I don't think maggots bite. I think maggots will maybe bite on the outside. No, I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't think maggots bite. I think maggots, maybe if you ingest them, it's bad, but I don't know if they bite you like that. So since I don't know, I'm going to go ahead and say that I want to do the nudist resort. I don't think I'm going to tell anyone that I went to a nudist resort. I don't think that's something that I would need the world to know, honestly, but maybe that's just me. All right, let's do some what would you do's. I need a sound effect for what would you do. If you have a sound effect for what would you do, email toughchoice@outlook.com. That's toughchoice@outlook.com. Your friend vanishes for 10 years. Okay, here it goes. You wake up one morning and they're knocking on your front door and haven't aged a single day. What do you do? All right. Well, first, I have questions. First, that's the first thing. I'm going to sit them down because I have questions. 2 things is possible. Either they were trapped in a time warp or I was trapped in a time warp. All right. If I wake up one day and they're knocking on my door and they haven't aged, my first question is, was I trapped in a time warp? Because I just assume that I'm insane. Assuming. You just assume that it's me. Always. But then you realize, no, it's 2022. They were gone in 2012. They know they were gone in 2012. Where have you been? Where have you been? Who's the witch? Is this Botox? Is that why you haven't aged? I don't know. I'm going to sit them down and talk to them. I'm going to be creeped out, right? Because I'm assuming if my friend is gone, I'm assuming I posted pictures of them gone. I'm assuming I posted pictures saying, hey, someone find my friend. I'm assuming I already got over it. It's been 10 years. I'm pretty sure I already got over it. I'm pretty sure all our other friends already got over it. And then they just show up 10 years later and haven't even aged. Everyone else is aged, but they haven't. I have too many questions, right? But it really is just going to be questions. I don't think there's going to be anything to do or say other than just sit them down and ask questions. While digging for fossils in your backyard, you strike oil. A company offers you a lot of money to buy your property, but the house has been in the family for 12 generations. What do you do? Make this money. What are you talking about? The house has been in the family. Okay, I have two brothers. Let's say my parents will, okay, I'm thinking, well, first of all, why am I digging for fossils? Maybe we're just digging. My parents have a garden. Maybe we're just digging. And then I strike oil. I mean, okay. Then an oil company, how much money though? How much money? What I would try to do is probably lease the backyard. Right? You can put one of those small little rigs to get oil. The problem also is that if there's oil under my house, there's oil under the other houses also. You know what I mean? So if we're being fair, I would tell the other people and I would say, hey, I'm going to put this in my backyard. You can try to put one in your backyard if you can. If you can't, that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? We would sell the house. My parents would sell the house. I would sell the house. My brother would sell the house. It would suck. It would suck. I would sell the backyard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I would sell the backyard only. I wouldn't want to sell the house. There's too many memories. It's been in the family, especially if it's been in the family for 12 generations. That's a lot, man. How much money really? I would need, it has to be at least 100 million. At least I'm thinking, right? It has to be not even life-changing, generation-altering money. It has to be the amount of money where my kids' don't have to work. If we're talking 12 generations, the money for that house has to take care of the next 4 or 5 generations. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Because if you just strike oil, I'm just going to give you I'm just going to let you put a rig in the backyard and handle that. But the whole property, I'm not giving you. The whole property, I'm not giving you. All right. Your dog grows 2 extra heads. You take it on the talk show circuit, as you should. A stranger with red horns comes to you one day and says that's his dog. What do you do? I'm going to hand him the dog. Right? Now, will I do my due diligence? Yes. I know some of you are like dog lovers. Everyone knows on this podcast, I don't like animals. I don't like any kind of animal. I don't like dogs. I don't like cats. I don't like gerbils. I don't like squirrels. I barely like fish. I barely like fish. So if you're telling me my dog has 2 extra heads, yo, we got to go on Ellen. Well, no, by the time you guys listen to this, Ellen will be gone. But we got to go on, The View. We got to go on Tonight Show. We got to go on Late Night. We got to go on, HBO. We got to go on Stars. We got to go on Showtime. We got to hit all the spots. ESPN. We got to hit all the spots. And then make my money. And then of course, someone's going to be like, yo, that's my dog. And of course, that guy is going to be a guy with red horns on his head. Of course. And what do? The simple thing is like, hey, well, if that's your dog, show me a picture of you and your dog. Right? Show me a picture. And of course, he's going to have a picture ready. And of course, you give him the dog or her. We are equal opportunity. Right? So, you know what I mean? It just says a stranger with red horns on his head. So it is a guy. Stranger with red horns on his head says that's his dog. What do? I'm going to give him the dog. I'm not even going to lie to you. The red horns itself means that that's his dog. I'm not even gonna be like, oh well, how do you know that? How do we know that's your dog? Do you have like a chip on it? Blah 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 blah. Is your dog missing? Nah, fam. Nah, fam. He has red horns. You think he cares about your life? You think he won't destroy you? He's just politely asking for the dog. I'm going to just give him the dog. It ain't that deep to me. I know some of you like dogs. Some of you like dogs. Some of you are going to try to keep it. Some of you are going to cry. Who cares? Hand him the dog. Hand him the leash. I'm going about my business. I'm assuming I already went on all the talk shows. Then I'm good, right? And then when they do follow-up interviews, I can be like, well, my three-headed dog, I call him Tripoli. My three-headed dog, Tripoli, had to go live with another family because we felt we weren't treating him the way he should have been treated. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go back to would you rather. Would you rather get electrocuted every time you hug someone or try to sell something every time you have a conversation? Every time I have a conversation, try to sell something. It doesn't say I'm going to sell something. It just says try. Try to sell something every time I have this conversation. I can say, hey, you want to buy this pen? I can do that. I can say, hey, you want to buy my shoes? The problem is every conversation. Can you do it for every single conversation? I don't know. I don't know if I can do that for every conversation, right? Especially when we're not just talking about conversations with your friends. We're talking about conversations in general. I will reduce my conversations, of course. But if I'm in a business meeting, I'll try to sell something. Maybe try to sell my products, maybe try to sell me. But we know what it means, actually. We know what it means. You're trying to sell a pen, you're trying to sell these shoes, you're trying to sell something. It's not conceptual, right? I won't allow the conceptual loophole on this one. You know what I mean? Now, be electrocuted every time you hug someone. This only works if you don't talk to your family. In my opinion, I think this only works if you don't talk to your family. Because if you talk to your family, you're not going to hug your mom? Is that what you're saying? You're never going to hug your mom. She doesn't get electrocuted. You will get electrocuted. It doesn't say you and the person being hugged will be electrocuted. No, you will get electrocuted every time you hug someone. And it won't be a death kind of electrocution. It'll be electrocution where, you're shook for at least 10 minutes, at least. You're shook because it hurt and like you don't know how to act. Like you were like a taser. You were tased in the back. Every time you hug someone, it feels like you're being tased in the back. Can you do that? I still talk to my family. I can't get electrocuted. I'm going to have to try to sell something. I'm going to have to. Well, actually, you know what? Everyone will get a fist bump except my mom. I'll do the electrocution every time I hug someone. And everyone will just get a fist bump except my mom. And when it's time to hug my mom, all right. Now, am I going to lie to you guys? Am I going to say that, my visits won't decrease? My visits are definitely decreasing. She's going to get a lot of FaceTime calls from me. Because I still don't want to get electrocuted, not executed, electrocuted. So it's going to be a little different. It has to be a little different because this is a different situation. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have conversations with our parents. Listen, I did a podcast. I signed a deal with the devil and I can't hug you. And they're going to be like, what are you talking about? That doesn't even make any sense. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to be like, listen, mom, all right, give me a hug. And when I fall to the ground shaking, don't say shit. Don't say shit because I told you. I couldn't hug you and you wanted to test this theory. Boom. All right. Would you rather clean all the dirt off a homeless person's feet with your tongue? Nope. Or experience heroin withdrawals for the next 2 weeks. Now, my question is this. Clean all the dirt off a homeless person's feet with your tongue. I'm probably gonna throw up for that. If I'm doing that, I'm probably gonna throw up. But at the same time, if I do heroin withdrawals, I I I've heard stories of people going through withdrawals. I think you could die. I know it's gonna suck. I've heard that you can die from this, from heroin withdrawals. I heard you can die. And you know what? I have a friend that works in drug prevention. I'm going to ask her, can you die from heroin withdrawals? Question for my podcast. Kauthar, come on the podcast. Just saying. Can you die from heroin withdrawals? That's the question. To the best of my knowledge, I think one of our older guests, Chaz Carter, said you can die from heroin withdrawals. So I probably don't want to do that. So I'm going to have to clean the dirt off a homeless person's foot with my tongue. I'm going to have to, because I don't want to treat it like I just don't want to die from heroin withdrawals, right? One time I'm thinking damn it. Okay. How long is it going to take me to clean their feet, not their foot, their feet with my tongue? Damn, dog. Damn, dog, for real. I'm trying to think now. Now I'm really trying to think. All right. Let me think. It's going to take me like an hour, 2 hours. 2 hours is still better than 2 weeks. So I'm going to do the homeless tongue. All right. Would you rather constantly hear the theme song from It's a Small World in your head constantly, or have every day be Monday? Damn. I will say this. I work from home. So every day being Monday every day being Monday will suck, because I usually work on a Monday. Now, can I take off? Yeah. Will I take off? No. Do I need the money? Yep. Will I take off? Probably not. Probably like once every other Monday. No, probably not even once every other Monday, because every other Monday is literally every other day now, because every day is a Monday. So once every 5, 6, 7 Mondays, I'll take off. But other than that, the meetings on a Monday, I don't know if you guys, when you guys work in white collar, and you will one day, because all of you guys will be bosses, the meetings you have on a Monday are the most boring, annoying meetings. Because the meetings on a Monday, they wanted it on Friday, but you denied them because it's Friday afternoon. Scott, who accepts a meeting on a Friday afternoon? I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to leave work early, and you're trying to schedule a meeting? That doesn't make any sense. So all the meetings that were supposed to be on Friday or late Thursday, they schedule for Monday. And it is usually the most annoying reason for the meeting, and the most annoying meeting ever are usually on a Monday. So if every day is a Monday, that's going to suck. At the same time, because I remember this question from Roxy Hayes. Shout out to Roxy. Roxy, come back on the podcast. I remember this question, and she told me, because at first I wrote the question and I thought It's a Small World After All was a different song. Not even going to lie to you guys. But then she sang it and I'm like, oh no, I can't have that in my head. I can't have that in my head. You can't. That doesn't even, here's the thing. And if we're breaking it down, the theme song for It's a Small World, it's only in your head. It's not anywhere else. So eventually, will it be white noise to you? I don't know. And that's the question. Will I go insane? Or will it be white noise? I don't trust my brain like that. I think I'll go insane. And that's why I choose the Monday. That's why I choose the Monday, because I genuinely think I will go insane if I choose Small World After All. After the first 2 weeks, I might, during the daytime, I'll get used to it. There's no way I'm getting used to it during the nighttime. There's no way. I'm trying to go to sleep and all I hear is It's a Small World After All in my head. Nah, fam. I'm going to need drugs to go to sleep. You're going to need like propofol, that Michael Jackson stuff, right? I'm going to need drugs to go to sleep because I can't sit here and be listening to It's a Small World After All when like my kids are trying to, no, because that's all the time. That's all the time. Both of these choices are all the time, but one is just a little worse, honestly. One is just a little bit worse. It's not 100% worse, but it's just a little bit worse. I will go insane if I hear that song in my head 24/7. Can't do it. Can't do it. Guys, that is our episode. This has been Tough Choice. I've been your host, Kazeem Rahman. You can find me online at Kazeem Comedy. That's Kazeem Comedy. And if you have a tough choice question, well, first, like, share, subscribe to this podcast. We're growing and we love it. If you have a tough choice question or a Mary Fuck Kill you want us to consider, email toughchoice@outlook.com. That is toughchoice@outlook.com. I've been Kazeem Rahman. You guys have been amazing. Bye.